Welcome back, folks. This is Shane. In today's video, we're checking out a selection of the Joyo Ironman series effects. There's also a tuner and a looper in there, and everything will be timestamped in the description below. Now, I've put a lot of work into this video. The reason why is I really felt like it's important not only to showcase how one pedal sounds, but what if you want to get, say, a chorus and a delay, or a noise gate and a metal pedal. So that's kind of what I've done on this particular video, just to mix things up. Firstly, a massive thank you to Artist Guitars and Joyo for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to find out more about them, links to them will be in the description below. But as always, I'm going to give you my 2 cents at the end of this video, so you can work out whether or not each of these are right for your particular situation based off my experience, if that's helpful. So let's get into it. The first 2 pedals I'm putting together in this first track are the MetalHead pedal and the Gate of Khan. Now, a lot of metal players will love to have a noise gate to help them get that staccato rhythm tone. Now, I should preface this by saying you're on the In the Blues channel. I'm not at all a metal player, but I've written this little cool track with some rhythm parts and some different guitars to showcase how well the noise gate works, as well as what kind of tones you can get, especially for rhythm stuff, when it comes to the MetalHead. Now, this is a full-blown metal distortion pedal. This isn't a classic rock overdrive or anything like that, so if you want that kind of tone, this pedal won't be for you. It works extremely well with this noise gate. All you have to do with the noise gate is enable it by clicking this button on, and then you turn the threshold up when you're not playing to eliminate any buzz, and then you're good to go. The more gain you generally have, the more you probably may require a noise gate, so pairing these together makes a lot of sense. Here we go. These next 2 pedals work extremely well together, and depending on your particular style of music, you might just love a chorus if you're a big fan of the 80s sounds, or if you're a big fan of delay, the Quattro will work on just about anything. I think these 2 pair really well together. Now, one of the strengths of the Quattro is we get 4 different types of delay. We get an analog delay, a digital delay, a modulation, and filtered delay, and all of them sound really musical. Now, I'm not going to showcase the analog delay in this particular clip because I have another delay pedal coming up which kind of covers that sound, but you're going to hear it in what I think to be its element mixed in with this chorus pedal. Now, when it comes to the future chorus pedal, we get 3 main controls on the top level, which is your mix. We get a depth, which controls the actual waveform depth. And then we also get a rate, which controls the speed. Up next might be 2 of my favorite effects in the bunch right here. This is the Pipebomb Compressor and the Time Magic analog sounding digital delay. That's right, it's got a digital brain, but it's an analog sound, very reminiscent of the BBD analog delays. This is definitely one of my favorites out there in its price point. I think it sounds really great, and you'll hear it in this particular clip. So we get a mix, a repeat, and a time control on the front. The mix gives you how much of the pedal you're hearing back in the mix. The repeat is how many times the pedal delay repeats, and the time is how fast or slow it repeats. So with it down like this, it's going to repeat faster. Turn it up, it's going to take longer for the repeat to come back. Now, if we take a look at the compressor over here, it has 4 controls. Now, this top one over here, the mix, controls the ratio of the compressed signal and the dry signal of the guitar. So if you want less of the compressed sound, simply turn the mix control down. When it comes to the attack, it's basically the response time of the effect. So as soon as you hit a note, this control determines how fast it will start to compress. So think of it as a speed control in many ways. The level over here adjusts the output volume of the pedal, so if you want to be louder than your original signal, you can be. And if you want to drive your amp a little harder, crank it up. And if you don't, you can turn it down or find unity and all that kind of stuff. And over here we have the compressor, which is the sensitivity adjustment. So this is kind of like how much compression you're adding. Kind of like these two controls are very similar in some ways, except this is a wet-dry output and this is the actual compressor effect itself. Up next, I'm back to the Quattro delay. I'm going to be using this in conjunction with the wooden sound. Now, when it comes to the wooden sound, this is an acoustic guitar simulator, and what you're about to hear are my guitars going into the clean channel of my Marshall. Now, a lot of people say that these kind of effects usually just sound like someone's adjusted the EQ, but if you compare this pedal on in the signal chain with it off, I think it does a pretty decent job of trying to emulate an acoustic guitar. Will it ever sound as good as an acoustic guitar going something like straight into my sound card? Probably not, but if you're like me and you don't own an acoustic guitar and you want to track apart, I think you'd probably get away with this if you weren't looking at the guitar being played itself. So I think it does a pretty decent job. I remember testing this many years ago and I don't think I did it justice, so hopefully now you can hear just what it can do. Up next, we're taking a look at the Ironloop pedal. This is a loop station and it's very, very simple to use. We have one button and one pot on the front. Now, this is just your output volume from the pedal to your amplifier, whatever it is you're running it into. This will work with bass and electric guitar. So it will work going into, say, a sound card or any amplifier. And for the sake of this demonstration, I'll be using it with this. This is the Joyo Jam Buddy, which is a great little practice amplifier that doesn't have a looper. So I thought, you know what, I might as well give it a shot with this and just see how they pair. So the sound's going to be very different, but I thought I'd just showcase it in a different way. So the way that this works is really easy. To start looping, click the button once and a little red light will come up and that will tell you that you're recording. Hit it again and the loop will start playing back. At that point, you're safe to play over it, but if you want to keep looping it up, hit it again and you'll be back into recording mode. Now, every time it cycles round, you'll see the little LED light indicators show you that you're coming back to the start of the loop, which is a really great visual representation of when the loop starts and ends. If you're new to looping, that's a really great little addition. There's not much else to say about this other than if you've never used a looper before, give it a shot. It will, I've found this out every time I use them, it will, it's sometimes a little embarrassing because it shows you all your flaws in your timing, but I've tried my best to record a little part for you. I hope you like it. Here we go. Up next, we're taking a look at the Irontuner. This little pedal rocks, and there's a couple of reasons why. One, it's small, so if you don't have a lot of space on your pedal board, it's a really good option. The only limitation of this, though, it's standard tuning only. There's no way to change that. A lot of people, though, will just want it for standard tuning anyway, so there you go. It's true bypass. One of the great things about it is when you turn it on, it's very easy to see. Even under my studio lights that are sort of coming towards where I'm filming right now, you can see this without any issues. And if you're wondering if you can see it with the visor down, you can as well, which is awesome. And that goes to show you that the LED is very, very bright. You're not going to have any problem seeing this under any lighting conditions, whether it's on the floor or whatever. This just works extremely well. Thanks for watching, folks. My name's Shane. A massive thank you again to Artist Guitars and Joyo for sponsoring this video. I'm going to give you my thoughts about each of these effects and the kind of results that I got listening back to them after writing all of these backing tracks. Again, if this video has been helpful, please give it a thumbs up. A lot of time and work goes into it. So we're going to start with the gate of Khan. This is the noise gate. I really like this, and it works really well. It's nice and simple, one button and one control that controls the threshold. So if you want to kill the buzz, this is a really great pedal. If you turn it up too far though, just be warned, it can sort of suck a little bit of the tone and volume out of your playing. So there's a really fine line of setting it, but if you set it up when you're not playing to eliminate the buzz with your guitar volume on, you'll get some really great results. So I would recommend this without any questions. Up next, I'm going to talk about the MetalHead. Now, I'm not a metal player whatsoever. I rarely do any demos of metal pedals, but it emulates that sound pretty well. And one of the cool things about it is the mids control. If you want a big sort of scoop sound, you can get it. If you want something with a little bit more mids, you can turn up the mids control. But it is an upper mids kind of frequency boost. It's maybe not the most smooth metal pedal out there, you know, but for its size and convenience, if you like the tone of it, it'll be right for you. Again, I'm not a metal player, so my experience is somewhat limited when it comes to these type of effects. Up next is the Time Magic Delay. This is by far my favorite of the bunch. I love this. 3 simple controls. While it has that digital brain, it has an analog feel and sound to it. It sounds great going into the effects loop of an amp. I actually have another video coming up about this later in the year, so subscribe if you're not already. I think this is a really musical delay pedal, and if you're looking for something on a board and you don't have a lot of space and you just want a delay, this would be a really great choice. There's no downside to this. It's true bypass, and a lot of the things that people love about an analog delay, it feels right when you're actually playing. So yeah, big thumbs up for this particular effect. Up next, we have the Quattro delay. Quattro in Italian means 4, so it's got 4 different delays. This would be a great choice if you don't know what kind of delay pedal you're looking for. It gives you 4 different sounds. So if you don't like the sound of the Time Magic, or if you do like that sound, you can kind of get it out of the analog setting on this as well. But you get a straight up digital delay on this, which is the one that I think stands out of all of them. But they all sound pretty musical. Probably my least favorite would be the filtered delay, but overall nice and simple. And you can just set it and forget it and close the lid. Your settings will be remembered. And now over to the future chorus pedal. I really wish they had called this like 80s chorus pedal or something. But either way, it's the future chorus pedal. This is about as bog standard of a chorus sound as you can get. It doesn't do anything too crazy, and it doesn't do anything too underwhelming. So it kind of sits right in the middle there. If you like chorus, give it a go. When it comes to the Pipebomb compressor, this particular compressor pedal feels fine. Now, I've tried probably 10 or 15 compressor pedals over the last 10 years, and this really doesn't feel that much different to any of the others. So again, if you're looking for a compressor and you play country, funk, or if you just want to, say, get your clean tone louder and more uniform in terms of its dynamic, this will work without any problems. There's nothing really to complain about here at all. I think it's a really functional compressor. And now we're over to the wooden sound pedal, and this is that acoustic guitar emulation. Considering I'm playing an electric guitar into an electric guitar amplifier, I think this drastically changed the sound. Given you could probably do something similar with an EQ pedal, I think this just adds a sense of simplicity rather than playing around with lots of other stuff. It may not be the strongest pedal out of the bunch here, but for what it is and what it does, I thought it did it pretty well. Again, if you don't have an acoustic guitar and you just want to get the vibe of an acoustic really easily, this will do the job. And now we're over to the tuner, which has some limitations, but overall I kind of like it based on its size. The visibility of the screen is really good, and being able to see it through the visor, even with the plastic on still, looks really cool. So I think it's really great in that regard. Also mutes your signal going out to an amp, but you can't sort of set this up for any type of different tuning. So standard E, or you're just going to hit a note and then follow it around with the tuning peg. So there's no way to do any sort of customization on this like you can with, say, a Boss TU3 or TU2, for example. You get a standard tuner with one function, tuning. And lastly, over to the looper. And again, I had this going through the Jam Buddy practice amplifier. I really like this. I like its simplicity. I like the fact that you can just record whatever you like and turn the playback volume up and down thanks to the one control on the front, so it makes it nice and easy. Also like the fact that it sort of shows you how close you are to the return of the loop starting again, which is another great visual aid if you're new to looping. I don't have any complaints about this whatsoever. I think given its price and given its performance, this is up there with some of the best loopers I've tried. While I've said a lot of positive things about these pedals, there's not a lot to dislike. They work really well given their function, and it comes down to personal choice if you like the tones or not, because everyone's in a different position with what they like or what you like or what I like, right? So I think for what they are, they do a really great job. There's one thing I have to mention though, some of them do give you a slight audible click when you turn them on and off coming out of your amplifier. Now that's pretty common for a lot of true bypass pedals, but it's definitely worth mentioning. A few people have asked about that, and I did notice that some of them clicked on and off. So overall, pretty cool pedals. There's a whole other range of these as well. So this is maybe a third or a half of how many there are in the entire range, and I may do a follow-up video coming up. A massive thanks again to Artist Guitars and Joyo for sponsoring this video. I really appreciate it. Find out more about them, use the links in the description below, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.